this is the Chelsea Rundown, episode 55 for the women's firsts, men's fourths, and finally the thirds for round 13. That opening music was Gunna Run by Tony Herdman, which is available on Spotify. First up, we are joined by Lisa. How are you doing this evening?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Well, thank you. We also have Jessa. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me.
And joining us, as always, is Ace. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, mate, I'm drinking cat piss tonight. I could only find beers in the fridge. I like to get a couple under the belt before we record. Just sort of loosens the tongue, enables Ace Man to give his 100%. But very happy to be here.
Excellent, mate. Thank you. Jess, if your tongue's loose, do you want to take us through the lineup, please?
Oh, yeah, why not? So this is for our women's first team on the weekend. So we started off with Kate at centre field. Bron played second base. Liesl pitched. I caught. Narelle was at shortstop. Eliza was at right field. Jodie was at first base. And Em was at third base. So that was actually a very light list. That's 8 instead of 9. We didn't quite have the numbers to get 9 players in both our teams this weekend. So the first only had the 8 there. And we actually had 3 girls from this team play in both games. So we had a 10:30 early game for the seconds and then a 1:30 p.m. late start for the first. So Jodie, Em and Bron all played 2 games that day. So I'm really greatly appreciative of those 3 girls putting in all that stellar effort and making sure we actually got 2 games that weekend.
Top effort, ladies. Liesl, please take us through the highlights.
So some of the highlights this week included Jodie taking an incredible fly ball catch in foul territory at first base. There was also a couple of great hits from Kate to centre field, amazing hit from Bron to centre field, and a spectacular double from Narelle scoring 3 RBIs. An incredible hit from Eliza to right field as well. I doubled to left field also.
That was an amazing knock.
Blind Bomber just at it again. I saw you burning the wheels before, burning around second, coming in fast, just hot on your heels. So she was probably yelling, go, 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 go. And you had no other options but to keep running.
I don't think I'm fast enough to have Jess batting behind me in the lineup. It was a pretty rude awakening on the weekend. She's very eager and very fast. So I had to be on my A game with my legs running around the diamond that day.
Jess, eager, baseball.
I may get a little giddy about things.
I don't even think those words belong together. That's an interesting take. Please tell me more.
I also have to say, Em relieved the game after me, and she did a freaking amazing job. She kept them scoreless when they were a very good, strong hitting side. So I have to say, for someone who's new to baseball, she had a really tough gig coming in a important inning, and she smashed it.
She did. I'm so impressed with her effort actually at training and on game day. So she had a stellar weekend across the board. So she played in that earlier game and did 2 double plays in that game in the field at third base, and then got 1 actually as well on our game. And then pitched as well. So, and she hit, I think she got 2 hits. She's a multiple hitter for the day. So she's just had an absolutely ripper weekend across the board. She's going leaps and bounds with her baseball every weekend, every week and every training. So really proud of her effort all around. It's amazing to watch her play.
Excellent. Liesl, please, what was that final score?
So the final score for the firsts was 13-7.
Excellent stuff, ladies, all round. All right, that's got to bring us through to the Golden Flipper. Please, Jess, who was nominee 1?
Nominee 1 was Narelle for her 3 RBI double. So Narelle, I reckon, has been struggling with the bats a little bit lately, a little bit hesitant, but she was really aggressive this day. She got in at this at bat and she was fouling all the balls that were coming into the strike zone. And then eventually she caught her timing and got everything right, and she ripped it down the third baseline. And you can see in the video, the left fielder goes down on her knees and almost gets it, but misses it. So it slides straight into the corner and she just keeps going. So really impressive. And again, I think I was on first and I'm like, I'm going home. There's no way I'm not bringing in that 3rd RBI. Stellar effort from Narelle. Just love to see her hit the ball really hard because she's a really impressive hitter.
Great stuff. And looks like textbook base running there by your good self, Jess. All right, then, Liesl, whom, please, is nominee 2 this week?
Nominee 2 goes to Em for her incredible double play at third base. So the ball got rocketed to her line drive. She played her base and then proceeded to get the out at first with a great throw to Jodie at first base.
All right, Jess, whom was nominee 3 for the women's first, please?
So the 3rd nomination goes to Jodie at first base, and unfortunately the camera doesn't quite capture it, but this ball got knocked into foul territory. She checks it down and she catches it like a champion. There was never any doubt. We've got so much confidence in Jodie, and I just wanted to give a shout out to her again for playing 2 games on the weekend, but also leading the seconds really, really well and effectively. She's really loud. She knows her stuff, and everyone looks up and respects her so much. So I'm so glad for her contribution across the board. And it was really good to actually play with her in the first game.
Great work, Jodie. All right, then that brings us through to game 2 this evening. which was Sunday, 19th of January, Chelsea Fourths versus Upwey Ferntree Gully. Ace, please take me through that lineup.
Yeah, a bit of an abbreviated lineup this week, as a few people are still ho-ho-hoing their way through some Christmas cake and Christmas turkey, still bushwhacking up in the beaches and just sort of enjoying the sunshine, kicking back and not worrying too much about baseball, which is sometimes part of life. So we started this week with a bit of razzle-dazzle, leading us off. Your lovely wife, Jessie Walters, in that second spot. Nico, the Greek Freak, coming in at 3. Myself down number 4. Davey Fisher. Hey, Davey Fisher. We don't mind, Joe. Big Teabag was a big missing component this week. Bit down with the flu. Bit of a sore throat, but we hope to see him back next week. Jason Humbles, welcome back, Humbles. A few cans for him. Yeah, why not? Ugly. He's always a superstar. Lucas Carey. Love the noise, Lucas. Keep it up, buddy.
Great stuff, Lucas. Always great to hear you cheering us on. What were the highlights, please, Ace?
Yeah, look, this was a bit of an interesting game. I'm going to put it down to the weltering heat for the Dolphins. They definitely like to stay in sort of more humid climates, and this was a very dry day. And we definitely got off to a very, very slow start. I think we knew that we sort of had to go out there and score some runs, but unfortunately, the bats were flailing and not in the right direction that we wanted them to be flailing. We weren't getting many hits. We weren't middling anything, and everything that we were middling was going straight to fielders who were making the plays. And unfortunately, on the opposite side of that, we weren't making any plays ourselves in the infield, and a few of the outfield. A few of those balls were just sort of landing and dropping in places that we couldn't quite get to. I know, Jess, how many times did we call you in from centre field?
They kept coming in shorter and shorter every single dig. That outfield feels really big, so I was sort of trying to cover the space. But yeah, you're right. Like after the first dig, it's like they're not hitting that big, come in. They're not hitting that big, come in. So he kept coming in. Eventually, I got one. Like I caught one in centre field, but I was right behind Dave Fisher. I wasn't very far out at all. So yeah, so it was interesting. But yeah, maybe it took a little too long to adjust. I was sort of taking little steps when I probably should have just come straight all the way in and then worked my way back. But that's all right.
I think that was a little bit across the board, really, for all of us. Like even the dryness of the pitch, and probably even that, I don't even know if you call that onto car, was almost like a crushed rock. It was very compacted. I know I was sort of struggling with it myself over at third base. A few balls sort of just stuck a little bit lower than probably what I was used to, sort of playing on more grassy territory. So look, we were very much asleep for the first half of the game, and that sort of goes through. I think the score through at halfway point was 10-0. We managed to get one run across the line. I think it was in the sort of the 4th or the 5th. But then we actually sort of decided to switch on, wake up, and mount a little bit of a comeback, actually, if I can say that. And we managed to put on about 10 runs to hold them to nothing. And I'll tell you the final score in a bit, but I won't ruin it right now. But there, look, all in all, really proud of everyone because, like I said, it was a weltering day, and we all sort of just really stuck our heads down, sort of, especially in that second half, and managed to pull out a decent outcome considering. And and look, we look forward to having sort of a few of those people who are still enjoying those Christmas breaks.
Bit of a rare cameo by Daz behind the dish as well.
Yeah, look, and he was definitely struggling. I know when he sort of he comes in one stage and he goes, you're supposed to be seeing black dots. And I was like, yeah, I wouldn't know too much about that. I can barely see the ball. So, he was very amicable behind the dish. Obviously, Davey Fisher and Humby sort of led the mound with the pitching. Even the outfield, unfortunately, teabagging, not having you out in left field, sort of gave us a little bit of a ding. Lucas Carey sort of was amicable over in left field without you. But yeah, sort of missing the likes of Shaney Fisher, Plugger, AJ, sort of guys who have sort of filtered their way into the team and sort of add a bit of a batting average, sort of took away a little bit of our batting depth. But look, good on Upwey in their first pitcher. He was just throwing strikes, and unfortunately, when we were middling, we'll just middle them straight to fielders.
Now, I hope somebody passed on to Lucas that in left field, you're obliged to go for every foul ball.
I don't think Lucas's mind has the wheels that you do. So he was more than happy to sort of just let that, that one's gone.
Very good. All right, mate. What was that final score, please?
Yeah, look, like I said, we're down 10-0 at one stage to fight back for a 11-11 draw. Well, I thought was really good. And look, we were 2 outs with Jess at third and Nico sort of in the batter's box. I think he was on a full count, unfortunately struck out. Had the winning run there.
That brings us on through to the Golden Flipper. Ace, please, whom was nominee 1?
Yeah, Big Uggs, he was trying out a few interesting things in the batter's box. It'd be before the game, just trying a few different stances with the front leg a bit outside the box and sort of stepping into the pitch. And look at on this special occasion, it worked out very well for him as he hit a lovely line drive straight down third base line. I think that brought me home. home early in the picture. So it was a great hit by Ugly. Great to see him having a little bit of success, especially when he's trying out some new things. Jogging, I think you can see the sweat dripping off my face. How many buttons have I got undone there, Teabagger?
Top two look like you're undone to me.
Might have
I was
need another.
really impressed. It was a really hard hit ball. Like I haven't seen that energy, I think, off Ugly's bat in a long time. So I was very excited when that one, when he hit that one. It was good.
Nice stuff. All right, then. Nominee 2 this week, please, Ace.
Yeah, your lovely wife, Jessie, does a couple of things here and there every now and then. We notice that she's playing a bit of baseball. She seems to, you can hear her every now and then chirping about something and something's going on and she's off with the fairies or she's eating a banana or an apple or whatever it would be. But on this special play, it was just one of those sort of gritty sort of things that Jess does. She tracked down a ball that was hit sort of into one of those holes in centre field, picked it up and she just released one with that lovely cannon of hers. I might have been yelling at her from third and I don't think I had to move too far. You can't see sort of me in the batter's box, but I think I had the glove in one position, and I think that's where it stayed until the ball landed in it. And we managed to get the out at third, but just a spectacular play by your lovely wife, Jess.
So these sorts of plays in the outfield, they're really kind of, it's important to do them quickly, but I don't know if I'm off with the fairies exactly, but sometimes I pick up the ball, and if I don't actually know where I'm going to throw it, I stand up and look around, and it takes time. But I think Ace and Dave were both yelling 3 at me. Like I actually probably hadn't looked at where the runners were before the play, but people were telling me really early where to go. So I pick it up and in one smooth motion, I'm already got my body turned, I'm on the way. And I found that really helpful. Like I think that's the only way that those plays really work, because you're actually already intending to go there before you've even got the ball, which was really cool. So thanks.
You can see there wasn't a lot of hang time from you pick up the ball here and release there. There's probably about a second. So, yep, spot on, Jess.
Great stuff, J-Dub. All that Wednesday night training paying off, clearly. All right, Ace. Nominee 3, please, this week.
Well, let me set the tone for you. Okay, let me set the tone. 2 out, last dig, runner at third, scoring position. The game's on the line. We're looking for the tie. We fought back. All we want is a tie. We just don't want another L. We can't have 2 L's in a row. Step up, razzle dazzle. Hit to centre field. What does he do? The man has got heat stroke. He's seeing black dots all over the place. He doesn't know where he is. I asked what his name was after the game. He told me James. He was completely wrong. He had no idea. But I tell you one thing he did know. He did know where this ball was, and he tracked it down with absolute beautiful confidence, stretched out the glove, bang, straight in the nipper. Thank you very much. Secured the tie for us. That's a skipper's catch. Great job, Razzle Dazzle.
Inspirational stuff, Daz. Top effort. All right, then. This will bring us through to game 3. Jess, please tell us things. Men's thirds, where were they at?
So they were at Upway as well. They were the later game that day. I actually had the privilege of helping them out. So again, a bit short on numbers. So we had Trav come along and play, and I came along and helped out just to fill it out. Maddie D was away and Roscoe was out, and I'm not sure who else was out from their team. But so it was a bit of a group of people thrown together, a few people missing and a bit out of position. So it was a little tough in the field. Probably too many errors, more errors than Upway made. I think they got the same amount of hits, and we actually were doing really well. I think most of the game we were in front, but I was just thinking about it. No one really kind of made a big song and dance about the last inning being so tight once they started scoring runs. So they actually scored 6 runs in that last inning and ended up winning the game. So it was a bit unfortunate. But my highlights from it were obviously Brett hits an absolute ton. He hit 2 really hard hit balls to the through the infield or over the infield. Absolutely stunning to watch him hitting. So that was really cool.
Not a bad looking fella either.
He's all right.
He's got arms for days. I reckon the man's been chiseled himself. You know, I've been trying to take a bit of a leaf out of Brett's book. So far, I haven't worked because I keep eating all the leaves, and I just keep chucking it on around the midsection. So anyway, I'll get there one day.
The other one that hits the ball really hard is Sarish. So he's come up to bat and smacked an absolutely beautiful hard hit ball through the infield, and it just stuns me sometimes how hard you guys hit the ball. So really impressive hitting by him as well. The only other thing I wanted to say, Ace, they put me at third base, so I feel you on the ground balls and the the environment over there. I actually got 2 errors over there. One of them was a hard hit ball and one of them wasn't. I'm just like, I'll get that, and I'm like, nope, don't have it.
Yeah, that rough rock, I think one went straight through my legs. I just didn't get the glove down low enough. One was a boggle, came off my shin and sort of just popped up in the air. And then one, I was all over it, hit the glove, and I was like, thank you, finally, and hit the top of the glove. It just went up over my shoulder, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm just not fielding today.
Yeah, no, it's all right. Third base is a very rough spot, but again, so players out of position and things like that.
Sounds like everyone needs a week off. Thank goodness it's the Australia Day weekend. Please, Ace, tell me, what was the final score for the men's States 3?
Yeah, unfortunately, the boys went down 10-9, like Jess said, sort of relinquishing that 6 runs in that second last dig there, sort of just wasn't sort of what you would lead to winning baseball. But like I said, you know, Roscoe or Mr. Training Wheels, who came off his bike, was unable to play. He says he's in Lake's entrance. I reckon he was in the hospital getting stitches. And Matty Dighton might have had a bit of bogey eye apparently, so he was a bit out and unavailable. So yeah, again, like with both teams sort of running on, I wouldn't say they're B squads, but sort of just running sort of with some different sort of personnel. Things become a little bit difficult because, as you know, as we all know, you start getting a little bit used to where you're playing. You get used to who you're playing with and their positions and what they can do and what they can't do. And so when you sort of getting chucked together last minute, it becomes a little bit difficult. But good on the boys for fighting it out again in hot temperate conditions.
Great stuff all around, Chelsea Dolphins. All right, Liesl, please tell me, what were the results this past weekend for the women?
The results for our first was the 13-7 win against the Southeast Warriors, and for our seconds, a 9-8 win against Cheltenham.
Fantastic stuff. All right, Ace, how'd the men look around the grounds, please?
Yeah, it was nearly President's shout, unfortunately, but we let them down the bottom there. So the win, Berwick's, our first and our seconds both had a win, 16-0, 13-1. Our thirds, unfortunately, with the defeat, 9-10, and the fourth with an 11-11 draw. Sorry, boys, at the top of the ladder. I know how much we were all looking forward to hitting Kyle up for a bevy.
And Liesl, you're in the fifth. Typically, what happened with the no game?
So unfortunately, we were supposed to be scheduled to have a home game at Springvale's ground, but because Springvale were having a bye, I think there was just a bit of miscommunication between Baseball Victoria and Springvale. So it resulted in us not actually being able to play at the ground because it hadn't been set up, things haven't been opened, and I don't think Springvale were aware that we were still scheduled there. So unfortunately, it went down as a no game.
Unfortunately, we'll not have to get another set of keys cut for Springvale, will we?
I think so.
Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in for another episode of the Chelsea Rundown. Liesl, great effort this week. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jess, thanks for coming along.
No dramas. Thanks for having me.
And Ace, as always, mate, a pleasure to have you here.
Pod always swims strongest together. See you next week. Oh, no, it won't be next week. We've got a week off, so I'll see you the week after.